Gucci has been the world's hottest brand for 100 years. It started with a dishwasher waiter and bellhop, and has been worn by royals, first ladies, and celebrities. In Florence, Italy, Gucci was born. His parents were humble straw hat merchants who expected Gucci to succeed. By 17, the business went bankrupt, the family fell apart, and Gucci boarded a freighter to England. The Savoy welcomed him to London's most luxurious hotel. He was a dishwasher, bellhop, and elevator attendant. The hotel was the first to have an electric elevator, and Gucci got to see its wealthy and famous guests up close. All of them carried stylish handbags and luggage. He also discovered that they were quality-focused and cost-averse. After a few years, Gucci saved enough money to return to Florence and start over. He married Aida Calvelli, a dressmaker, and had children. After the First World War, Gucci had to leave home again and serve in the army, but he survived and returned to Florence after the city's economy collapsed. Gucci worked at a high-end leather company. Todd Gucci learnt the basics including leatherworking. Gucci learned quickly and was asked to open a store in Rome. Gucci wanted to open a shop in Florence because Aida, their manager, refused to leave Florence. Gucci and Aida strolled through Florence on Sunday. They saw a rental shop on a narrow side street. Aida encouraged Gucci to take over and pursue his city shop dream. Gucci used their savings and borrowed from a friend with her permission. Gucci was founded by Valeria Gucci. Gucci selected Tuscany leather handbags and luggage for the shop Germany, England. He knew what wealthy tourists would buy from his Savoy experience, but his suppliers didn't. He opened a workshop to make and repair his own products after tiring of his suppliers. Gucci struggled privately while becoming popular with wealthy tourists and the local elite. After he cried, his family and staff discovered the truth. He resembled a condemned man. Gucci needed money to pay his bills and had to do what he feared most: steal. Gucci's future son-in-law couldn't bear to see him suffer like he was dying. He offered him a loan from his savings to marry his daughter, Graham Aida. Gucci graciously accepted after only a few months. He paid off the loan and hired artisans. Each completed a product by themselves. Sometimes 100 pieces were assembled in 10 hours. Gucci's business and team grew, changing Italy's leadership. Gucci couldn't buy enough leather to keep his shop from closing again due to international sanctions. He risked new products first. He made canvas and leather handbags with only the most useful parts: corners, clasps, and straps. He later added belts, wallets, and shoes. His family's products were popular across Europe. Gucci, he reasoned, had rejected his idea of expanding to other cities. Aldo was convinced it was a great opportunity, and secretly asked their bank for a loan. It saved the family. When Rome became an open city during the Second World War, soldiers swarmed the shop to buy gifts for their mothers, wives, and girlfriends. After the war, Gucci scrambled to get loans from several banks to keep both shops open. And while he was short on supplies, his team made new and unique products like bamboo-handled and pigskin bags. Gucci had a third Milan shop by the early 1950s. His sons, Aldo Rodolfo and Vasco, were away. With a $6,000 bank loan, they secretly flew to New York to locate their first American store. They chose a small Fifth Avenue shop. Gucci was furious after receiving a telegram. "Crazy boys, hurry home," he replied. He caved again, unaware that it would be his last act of kindness for his sons. New York became Gucci's first American store a year later. It was one of the first Italian labels to open a store in the city and one of Europe's most exclusive. The Gucci family had much to celebrate as New York marked the start of a global expansion. 2 weeks after opening their store, Gucci died of a heart attack while preparing to go to the movies with Aida. He left Gucci to Aldo Rodolfo and gave nothing to Vasco Malda, whose husband had saved the company from closing. After losing in court, business continued as usual. Aldo sought growth. Rodolfo ran its Milan store and Vasco its Florence factory. Gucci's elite reputation grew as a result of a product Aldo once dismissed as bizarre loafers. Stiletto heels were popular in NYC when Gucci released them. A woman soon discovered loafers' comfort and style. Gucci loafers became a must-have item for men. Frank Sinatra owned many. Gucci opened dozens of stores and expanded into clothes, perfumes, and watches in the following years. It was considered a status symbol and untouchable until history repeated itself. Vasco died of cancer 2 years after Gucci launched perfumes and watches. Aldo and Rodolfo bought and split his shares. Aldo later gave his sons Giorgio Paolo and Roberto 10% of his shares. Despite having a small stake in the company, Rodolfo refused to give his only son Maurizio a share. George Paolo and Maurizio disobeyed and rebelled. George secretly opened a family-named shop. Paolo's label exposed his father's tax evasion. After Rodolfo died, Maurizio got half the company and fired Aldo. After that, Maurizio craved power. He thought he had to buy his family out, but he didn't have enough money and needed an investor. The idea intrigued bankers, but family feuds made a deal unlikely. Luckily, one private investment court was crazy enough to take the risk. Maurizio bought out his family 2 years after the deal. 1988 saw the sale of 47.8% of Gucci to Bahrain-based investment company Investcorp. In 1989, Maurizio Gucci was appointed chairman of the Gucci Corporation. Gucci's finances were in the red from 1991 to 1993. The extravagant spending on the company's headquarters in Florence and Milan was attributed to Maurizio Gucci in 1993. He sold the last of his company stock to Investcorp for $170 million, bringing an end to the Gucci family's involvement with the business. He was found dead outside his Milan office 2 years later. His ex-wife, Patrizia Reggiani, hired a hitman to kill him. Tom Ford became creative director at Gucci in 1994 to 2005. The brand was nearly bankrupt and deeply unfashionable. He brought a sexiness and glamour to the brand. He designed seasonal must-haves after that. His daring designs helped Gucci earn over $1 billion a year and 2 successful IPOs. After many heated negotiations in the noughties, Tom Ford left Gucci in 2004 to start their own label. Today, Gucci is worth over $17 billion and is the world's hottest and fastest growing luxury brand. Teens and millennials like it. Bringing in an outsider helped. A dishwasher built a billion-dollar luxury brand that survived wars, bankruptcy, and family feuds. Which of the facts in this video was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell, like, and subscribe for more.